Well, the Central Texas Food Bank feeds more than 500,000 people in our area. In fact, when we have inclement big weather days like yesterday, they actually help provide meals to the overflow emergency shelter sites around the city. So to say that the food bank is a crucial part of the community would be an understatement, which makes the volunteers who help out a critical part of the equation.
How are we doing?
Good.
Volunteers like Greg Parsons,
I like all the activity.
are the heart and soul of the Central Texas Food Bank.
It's fast-paced, it's fun, the music's playing. It's just a good time.
He's a regular here. As for Nancy Reynolds,
it's my first time volunteering here. It's amazing.
Throughout 21 counties, we serve about 530,000 food insecure individuals. So hunger is you and I skip breakfast, we're hungry by lunch. But food insecurity is not knowing where your next meal is coming from.
Central Texas Food Bank CEO Sari Vatsky says they rely on the support of about 1,000 volunteers a week. And the total volunteer hours last year was the equivalent of 64 full-time employees.
So I'm making small bags to fill the produce.
We're just continuing to fill these baskets and supply them to each of the tables of inspectors.
Good.
That's my job today, making sure there's not a bad apple in the bunch, putting them into bags and sending them down the conveyor belt. January and February are the months where volunteer signups really tend to drop off. But the reality is, hunger is a 365-day issue, and one Vatsky is familiar with.
When I was 10, my family moved from New York to South Florida because we couldn't afford to live in New York anymore. And there was a time where we rolled quarters for groceries. We had our lights turned off. And so I know what it feels like to feel like a burden to a family.
And that childhood experience drives her to want to help more families. Volunteers are needed 6 days a week. Aside from packaging, getting the food to Central Texans in need is equally as important.
They can volunteer at our mobile pantries, help putting food in people's cars. They can work in the kitchen making meals. They can volunteer in our garden. There really is something for everyone.
I'll be back. For sure.
Well, volunteering is as easy as going to KVUE.com. We're going to direct you to their website where all you need to do is click volunteer. And if you don't have time to volunteer, you can make a donation. You know, for every dollar donated, the Central Texas Food Bank can provide 3 meals, so the dollar stretches farther.
Really does. And they do such great work there, and I can't get over the CEO that she really has a personal connection with this issue. That was just a really powerful moment.
Yes, that's definitely her why. And you know, whenever they don't have the money, the donations to cover the food that they need, listen to this. At this point, they tell me they're spending $1.2 million a month of their own money right now to purchase food to make up for that donation shortfall. I mean, if you think about it, that's not sustainable. So I said, well, why do you have such a big cost? And they said, well, food costs more. There are more people to buy the food for, and the food bank is receiving less federal assistance. So it's just so important that we help out, whether with donations or with our time.
Yeah, they really need it. It seems like more than ever now. Vaughn, great story. Thank you so much for that.